It's your girl, Tina Marie J. This is the second video for my LGBT and religion or Christianity series. However, this series, I don't have anything in order. Usually I put them in order, so you can literally just watch this once it's all done on a playlist in any order that you choose. For this video, I really wanted to get into this topic for quite a while now, and it has to do with having healthy conversations with our children about the LGBT community. Should we talk to them about it? Should we let them learn about it? It's on TV, it's in music now, it's in books now, it's outside, it's on the radio. You hear it, you see it, how can you get away from it? You can't, because you know what? It's like getting away from people. The LGBT community, they're everywhere and they have every right to be wherever the hell they want to be. That's my personal opinion. I have children. My kids are both 10 and 13 years old. They do know about gay, lesbians. They know all about it. Now, the reason why my kids know about it is because, like I said, it's everywhere, and I don't want them to have any misinformation, and I don't want them to judge people. Now, one big thing that I teach my kids in my household is you love people, period. You don't love the skin color, you don't love the hair, you don't love the sexuality, you love human beings. It's important that kids need to know how to accept other people. If we fear being open and honest with them and having this open, honest, healthy dialogue, then they will forever become just as judgmental as other homophobics are out there. So how do we have these healthy conversations? How do we have this healthy dialogue? The reason I wanted to do this video is because I've been noticing on Facebook, mainly Facebook, because that's where everyone goes to rant and talk their crap, talking about the LGBT in schools and on, you know, in the media, and talking about how they want to have a class where they teach them about it. I read something about that. And so this one woman, she wasn't even a mom, she has a niece, and she was complaining in the comment section on Facebook that she didn't agree with any of this. She thinks that it's ridiculous how the LGBT community is so much on the uprise right now. She just ranted on her personal feelings about how she feels like we should let kids be kids, they shouldn't know anything about this stuff. And I'm like, okay, but where was that kind of outrage for our children being safe in the world when we allow them to just run the streets? We allow them to go and sleep around. We allow them to do whatever hell criminal activity, and with a blind eye, and act like, oh, I don't know, my kid is out there hanging out with whoever. Meanwhile, they're off robbing someone, they're off shooting someone. A lot of the things that you see in the news, a lot of times, a lot of this criminal activity are by teenagers. We have to shield our children from a community of other individuals who are human beings, who just identify sexually differently than how we do, but we can't shield them from everything else. We can't teach them everything else. It just doesn't make sense to me. So this woman on Facebook that commented under this one post that someone had put about children learning in school about the LGBT, she was pretty upset, and I wish I remember everything that she said. I should have snapshotted the whole conversation, but she basically just was saying that it's wrong and that we shouldn't talk to our kids about it. I don't agree with that. I'm a mom. My kids do know, they do have knowledge about what LGBT stands for. They have knowledge about lesbians and gays and how they live their lives, and they know about pretty much everything that I felt was right for them to know. My personal opinion on what I think should be done is that we need to have healthy conversations with our children that are at a mature age to us, because maybe my kids could be a mature age, but your kid has to be a lot older. You know, not saying that your kid's not mature, but every kid absorbs information differently, and some are not old enough yet to understand it. It may confuse them. That's another topic, is that it's causing confusion, and I don't believe it caused as much confusion as everyone says, but I think maybe that'll be for another video. The point is, we have to have these healthy conversations. if we turn a blind eye like we do everything else in the world, everything else in society that goes on that nobody wants to talk about because everybody's so hung up talking about the LGBT, if we decide to finally start having these healthy conversations, this really healthy dialogue with our children, then maybe there would be a little bit more of an understanding. Now, my whole thing is this. I, as a mom, knew that my kids were going to eventually learn about what gay is, what it means to be gay, because my kids are going to see it. If you put on the TV, the Disney Channel now, kids are going to see it. There's a lot of mixed feelings and thoughts surrounding the LGBT when it comes to other children witnessing it. When my daughter first came up to me and told me, I can't remember what she said, but she was asking me a question about something she heard some kids in school saying about gay people. I did not want her to go off of what she heard. I want her to go off of the facts. I want her to go off of what I'm going to tell her. So I immediately sat her down and said, listen, this is what LGBT stands for. This is what it means to be gay, bisexual, lesbian. I did not go into the fullness of it because at the time she was still pretty young. But as my girls got older, I was able to tell them more. I was able to basically open up to them and have more open dialogue, allow them to ask questions and answer it truthfully and honestly. Now, I know some people may think I'm being biased because in my first video I mentioned my cousin who's gay and who is the writer of the show Pose. I felt like this my entire life. I never once judged him. Even if he was not gay, someone else in my life who I love will be gay. I've had many gay friends, so it's not really possible to get away from that. Now, the way that I think it's important to speak to your children is by first being honest with them and telling them what it is. Don't tell them what it's not. And don't tell them it's bad to do this, don't do this, don't do this. Don't put out that kind of energy when you're speaking to them about it, because then you're making them think that they have something to fear. You're making them think that they have something they need to judge. They have a reason to look down on another group of individuals. And that's how racism happens. That's how homophobia happens. That's how people who are part of a different religion who don't like another religion, that's how that happens, because you're speaking on it in such a negative light. If you don't agree with it, tell them. Mommy doesn't agree. Daddy doesn't agree. But this is what it is. It may seem strange, but this is their life. Now, you've got to be a mature adult who can handle a mature conversation with your child before you can even think about talking about this at all. Because if you're not a mature adult and you can't handle this kind of conversation without any kind of bitterness towards it or resentment or disgust, you really shouldn't have this conversation. Your child deserves to know what's in the real world, because if they don't learn it from you, then they're going to learn it from somebody outside. They're going to learn it in all types of ways. You want them to learn it from you. Now, I'm not saying that you need to teach them it's wrong, don't do it, this is what gay is. I'm telling you that you need to talk to them about the truth of what being gay is. It's simply two people who love each other and they are not attracted to the opposite sex. Oh, but why? That's strange. Why? I don't know. I don't know why, but that's not something we need to know. All we need to know is that they're still human beings. They deserve respect and they deserve love just like anybody else. Let everything else figure itself out. That's really all our job is as a parent. Our job is not to constantly tell our kid not to do something and something is bad, especially as they're getting older, because you don't want them to feel restricted. You don't want them to feel so boxed in. You don't want them to feel like, well, what if one day I end up being gay? Or what if your child actually is gay and you just don't know it? Then now you're having this conversation with them and they're thinking, oh, there's no way in hell I could tell my parents I'm gay. There's no way. You don't want to cause any kind of barrier that's going to make it so that your child is afraid to speak up, to open up, or to ask any questions. Whether they feel like they might be gay or not. And yes, I do believe that children know they're gay, because I've spoken to many people who are gay. Anyone I've ever spoken to has always said, I knew since I was little. I knew since I was little. The way you knew you liked boys, I knew I liked boys. Kids can be gay. Now are they gonna tell us? Of course they're not, because what are they learning in school? Boy and girl, man and woman, husband, wife. That is something that they're gonna always learn, they're always gonna see. Now imagine how it is for someone who is gay and had to hold that in their whole life. They're someone else's son and daughter. Every person who is gay has to hold it in until they feel ready, or they get found out, and then it can either be good or bad. I can't imagine living my life like that. I would never want for my kids to think that they need to judge or love anyone less because of who that person loves. I would never want my kids to learn something in school and not be able to talk to me because they don't feel like I can be asked any questions. Would never want for my kids to go out there and put someone else down or make someone else feel like they are less than just because of choices they make in life, or because of the color of their skin, or because of who they love. I would never want that. So if we can have more parents that could be open and honest and have this dialogue with their children, then just imagine how much better things could be. Our children are not going through the same generation we went through. I didn't know anything about gays until I got to high school. Now we live in a time where it's on Disney Channel, I've seen it, but it's out there and it's not going anywhere. So you're going to either have to learn how to ride the waves and be open and honest, or allow society to tell and teach your children how to treat a certain group of people. You're going to have to find a time when you feel your child is ready, but you yourself have to be mature as well, because we can't expect to wait for our children to be mature enough to handle this type of a conversation or to understand and grasp the concept if we ourselves can't even get through the conversation without having so much disgust and acting like, oh, it's disgusting. Oh no, I don't know, like 2 men, 2 women. This is not 1998 anymore, okay? This is about to be 2020. This is a time when either you accept or you don't, you like it or you don't. There is no more hiding in the closet. Gays are no longer going to be in the closet. They are coming out and they are proud and they have every right to be. Now, do I think that they should have classes in schools? I do think there should definitely be a sex ed class, a part of sex ed class, but I also think that they should send permission slips, so only the parents who fill out the permission slip to say I accept this, only those students should be the ones to be able to participate in these type of classes. And this should be counseling open and available for children in school who do themselves feel that they may possibly be gay or bi or lesbian. Do I think that they should have it on TV, like on a Disney Channel? I don't know. I'm kind of conflicted with that. To be honest with you guys, I kind of feel like, you know, because I get it when people say like kids be kids. Do I think that we should have it in music or that it should be on TV in shows? Yeah, sure. I mean, we have everything else on TV. If you don't like shows that portray gay community, watch something else. I have my own thoughts about it, but you guys already know I personally have nothing against LGBT. I've had best friends in high school who were part of that community, and I never found a problem. I mean, yes, I did think it was strange. I didn't understand it, but I didn't judge it. And I think having a gay cousin helped, because then you know how to love someone. Because if you can love someone that is a loved one, it's not so hard to love others who are gay, because you have that compassion, you have that sincerity for them. Oh, I really should have took some notes, because I just feel like I'm so boggled, you know. I mean, sometimes I just have these thoughts and I think about these things and I'm just like, I should make a video on this, and I write down all my ideas of things I want to talk about, but I usually like to make talking points. I didn't get to do that this time, that's right. Hopefully I did not miss anything, but let me know what you guys think, or if you need any advice on how to talk to your kids about the LGBT. So if you want me to make a video about that, I can do that as well. So let me know down in the comment section. If you want to get in touch with me, I have my information at the end of this video as well as in the description box. And I appreciate you guys being here. Make sure you give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and press the bell notification so you know anytime a new video comes out.